The process of change can be challenging sometimes, especially when you want to transition from the present stage of your life to a better stage of your life or to a better phase of your life. Sometimes you come to the point that you start thinking about what people will say about you, how people will perceive you, or what will happen after the change. You are too scared to make that change because you are not too sure about the result or the outcome. We are too afraid at some point. I personally have gone through the process of change that at some point I felt like I'm not going to do this. I thought about what people will think of me. I thought about how people will perceive me. I thought about the image it will project. And at the end of the day, I had to go through that because I've seen a lot of advantages that is attached to that change. And I've seen the outcome even before executing the change. In today's video, I will be sharing with you the easiest way to execute change in your life regardless. And I'll be sharing with you also models that can assist you in the process of your change. I would love to encourage you watch this video to the very end because you will be blessed. Without further ado, sit back, relax, and I'll be right back. Hey guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, hello, welcome to this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for clicking through this video. I'm Magical Blessing. In this channel, we inspire young mind, break limiting beliefs, and overcome life challenges. Today's video, I'll be sharing with you the easiest way to execute change or implement change in your life. I'll be sharing with us a model from Kurt Lewin. He talked about the 3 stages of change. I believe he knew or he knows that change is something that can be challenging to any kind of person, organization, or to anybody at all. That was the reason for the stages of change, to help people transition to any phase of their life. Change is something that can demand a lot or can be tasky, and sometimes people tend to go back to their former self or to their former life because they are not able to continue in the process of change. Hence, that was the reason for the 3 stages of Kurt Lewin model of change. Now, he talked about the unfreezing phase, he talked about the movement or changing phase, and he also talked about the refreeze. My second time of filming this video. This is the second time of filming this video because of my noisy ambience. The background is very noisy, and at some point I had to stop the recording and continue later, but at this point I can't just stop. I had to continue. Please ignore any noise you are hearing from the background. Thank you so much. First stage by Kurt Lewin is the unfreezing stage. Now let's talk about the unfreezing stage. The unfreezing stage is the period you have to prepare your mind, you have to prepare your spirit for the change you are about to encounter, especially people who already know that they are about to experience a change in their life or they're about to move into another phase of their life, because there are some people that change happen unexpectedly. They are not aware that they are about to transition into a new phase, and there are some people they are aware they are about to transition. In case you are this person that you are aware of the change you're about to encounter in your life, you have to prepare your mind, you have to prepare your spirit, you have to prepare your soul for the change you're about to enter, because if you are not prepared for the change you're about to encounter, it's likely you cannot pull through the process of change. It's likely you can go back to your usual state or your former life. So this is the reason you have to prepare for change. Kurt Lewin named this unfreezing stage because it's a period you have to start unlearning some habits, some attitude that can transition with you through the process of change. Those things you don't like, those things you don't like about your life that you want to change, it is the time to start unlearning them. Hear this example. If you put a food in the freezer and you're about to use the food, when you bring out the food from the freezer, you can't just go ahead and start using the food. You have to melt that food. You have to unfreeze the food before the food can go through the process of cooking or boiling, depending on what you want to use the food for. If you bring out the food from the freezer, you have to wait for it to melt. You have to wait for it to become motile, depending on the food, before it can be used. You can't use it at that stage, it's still freezed, because it's too hard. There is no change that can happen to something that is rigid. So you have to wait for it to melt, so it can be motile enough and flexible enough to transition into that life or new life you want. That's a simple example, and it's very applicable in our life journey. In the process of unfreezing, or in the unfreezing stage, you have to unlearn, be patient with yourself, unlearn every attitude that you don't like anymore. It's a period of unlearning. You unlearn certain things you don't like about yourself prior to the change you're about to encounter. Always remember, do not be hard on yourself. Be patient with yourself. Just go through the process patiently. Be patient on yourself, because if you're patient enough, you'll be able to get the best results from that process of change. You'll get the best outcome. But if you bring out the food from the freezer and without waiting or without being patient for it to melt and start hitting on the freezed food so you can use it, you will discover that you can't get the best effect. You have to wait. You have to wait for it. So be patient with yourself in the process of unfreezing, the process of unlearning. Be patient with yourself. Do not be too hard. If you become too hard on yourself, it's likely you won't get the best outcome from this process. And this is the most sensitive part of the stages of change. Also remember that the unfreezing stage is a stage you unlearn, it's a stage of unlearning. It's a stage you expose yourself to teachings, to webinars, to seminars, to personal development. It's a stage you prepare your mind prior to the change you are about to encounter. When you've prepared your mind and every aspect of you prior to this change, you will discover that when the change happens, you will be sustained in the process of change. You will never think of going back to your old life. This is also applicable in organization. Let's say you own an organization, or you manage an organization, or you are a business owner. It's very important that in the process of unfreezing, you prepare your team members as well. Prepare them so that they will also transition through the process of change without slacking. Although the second stage might be challenging, but they will be able to transition because you already prepared their mind, you prepared their spirit. Let them go through the process of unlearning. Prepare your team members so that everyone will be in agreement with your change you're about to execute in your organization. Let's go to the second stage, which is a changing or movement phase. In this phase, you start experiencing the change you've ever wanted, that change you've ever admired, that place you want to be in your life journey. You start experiencing the change. This is a process you start executing, implementing the change. Remember, you've already prepared your mind in the first stage, which is the unfreezing stage. Now, the preparation you've made in the first stage will help you and assist you in the second stage, because you will go through that process smoothly. A lot of people used to struggle in this stage. Believe me, the struggle is real. In this stage, a lot of people struggle, and it's very much understandable because you've not done this before. It's not a life you've lived before. It's not a life you lived before, so you've not gained experience in that change before. That is the reason why it's demanding, tasky, and not easy at all. But you can pull through if you prepared yourself well in the first stage. You can pull through. This is a phase where you will start encountering, experiencing that beautiful life you've wanted. You will start going through the process. Trust me when I say you might not be comfortable at the initial stage of this second phase. You might not be comfortable. It's not a comfortable place. It's not a comfortable situation because you are doing a lot of things you've not done before. You are transitioning into something you've never done before. So it's a challenging moment. It's a shaky moment where you have to be strong. That is the reason you have to prepare your mind in the stage 1. Stage 3 is a refreezing phase. This is where you have to solidify or reinforce the change that has occurred. Remember, in stage 2, the change has happened. You have transitioned into that life you've ever wanted. You are beginning to live a new life in stage 2. Stage 3 is where you have to solidify the change you've made. You have to solidify that change, reinforce the change. Because if this is not done according to Kurt Lewin, it's likely the person will go back to their old self. They will go back to their old life. This is the need you have to solidify. Ensure that there is no room to go back to the old life. Ensure there is no space to go back to the old self. Solidify the change that has occurred in your life and keep at it at every time. Keep on monitoring. Keep on checking yourself to ensure that you are not slacking or you are not going back. Alright guys, you're already coming to the end of this video, and I do really hope you're blessed by this video. I hope you got value. If you're really blessed by this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. Let us know what you think down the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed up to this very point. Hit on the notification bell to always get notified anytime we drop new video. It will be great if you share this video to your friends, family members, loved ones, and even to your village people. Thank you so much. I remember myself, my true blessing, and I hope to talk to you soon in my next video.